Uncover the 5 signs of emotional abuse. You might be getting manipulated without even realizing it. Ever felt like something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Like you're being hurt by words, actions, or even silence, but there's no visible bruise to show for it? That could be emotional abuse, and you might not even know it's happening. This kind of abuse is sneaky. It hides in the cracks of subtle gestures, biting jokes, or criticism dressed up as advice. Worst of all, it can go on for ages before you realize how much it's really messing with you. Here's the truth. Emotional abuse can shake the core of how you see yourself, chip away at your confidence, and even derail your dreams for the future. Some experts say it can hit harder than physical abuse because it targets the most personal part of you, your sense of self. In this video, we're breaking down 5 clear signs of emotional abuse. If you've ever felt like something's hurting but you can't quite name it, this could be a wake-up call. It might even help you reclaim the strength you didn't realize you were losing. Ready to dive in? Let's talk about it. First sign: when the joke stings. Emotional abuse. Hiding in humor, one of the sneakiest and most damaging signs of emotional abuse, is when someone puts you down, whether directly or indirectly. The tricky part? It doesn't always look like an outright attack. Often it's wrapped up in a joke, a sarcastic jab, or even friendly advice. Take a moment to think. Does this person humiliate you in front of others? Do they make comments that seem funny on the surface but leave you feeling small? Do they use sarcasm to undermine your ideas, your feelings, or who you are? And when you try to speak up, when you say it hurt, what do? They hit you with, "Wow, you're so sensitive." That's not an innocent response. It's a way to dismiss your feelings, making it seem like you're the problem, not their behavior. Over time, this pattern erodes your self-esteem. You start questioning your own judgment. You hesitate before speaking, afraid of becoming the target of another joke. That's not normal, and it's definitely not okay. These moments add up. A jab here, a snarky comment there, a dismissive glance another time. Slowly you start to shrink. You quiet yourself. You walk into a room already feeling out of place, like you don't belong. It's even worse when this humiliation happens in front of friends, family, or co-workers. The abuser thrives on this. They use it to tighten their grip, knowing that the more exposed you feel, the more vulnerable you become. Recognizing this pattern is the first step. Words can hurt, they carry weight, and no one, especially not someone who claims to care about you, has the right to make you feel less than. Second sign: are they protecting you or controlling you? Find out now. Emotional abuse can disguise itself as care, creeping in as control that's hard to spot at first. It often starts out looking like concern or just trying to help, but over time, you might notice you're losing the freedom to be yourself. Pause and think. Does this person try to dictate what you wear, who you talk to, where you go, or how you spend your money? Do they have an opinion on everything you do, even when you didn't ask for it? Worse, do they make you feel guilty for wanting something different or having your own ideas? Slowly, you might find yourself second-guessing even the smallest decisions. Before you choose anything, you're already wondering what they'll say, whether they'll approve or if it'll spark an argument. That's a red flag. Control has crossed into unhealthy territory. This doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. It can come from parents, friends, or even bosses. Emotional abuse isn't about the type of relationship. It's about a power dynamic where someone constantly positions themselves above you, treating your choices as wrong or childish. That kind of behavior leaves deep scars. Many survivors of emotional abuse say that after being under this kind of influence for so long, they struggle to trust themselves. They hesitate over simple things, like what to eat or which route to take. This isn't about weakness. It's the result of being repeatedly taught that their decisions aren't good enough. Emotional control is a way of erasing someone's individuality. It's denying their autonomy, claiming their emotional freedom as if it belongs to someone else. Spotting this pattern is crucial. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not domination. You have the right to carve your own path, make your own choices, and yes, even mess up sometimes. That's part of being human. That's part of being free. Third sign. Are you always the one to blame? In an emotionally abusive relationship, one of the most toxic patterns is the constant shifting of blame. No matter what happens, somehow, the fault always lands on you. This isn't by accident. It's a subtle, deliberate tactic that chips away at your self-worth. Have you ever found yourself apologizing for things you're not even sure you did? Do you feel like you're always walking on eggshells, trying to avoid a fight because any tiny misstep could turn into a huge blow-up? If so, you might be dealing with someone who twists reality to keep you feeling guilty all the time. Emotionally abusive people rarely own up to their actions. They struggle to look in the mirror and admit their flaws. Instead, they turn the spotlight on you. You made me act this way. If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted. Or, you always ruin everything. And when you try to stand up for yourself, they mock you, brush you off, or flip the script, making it seem like you're overreacting, dramatic, or too sensitive. It's also common for them to belittle your emotions. You might pour your heart out about something that hurt you, only to be met with sarcasm or dismissal. They might crack jokes at your expense, expose your vulnerabilities, then claim it was just a joke, and you're taking it too seriously. This kind of emotional manipulation leaves lasting wounds. You start doubting your own perspective, wondering if you're blowing things out of proportion or wrong for feeling hurt. Over time, this confusion takes root, and your confidence in yourself begins to crumble. Here's what you need to hold on to. In a healthy relationship, responsibility is shared, mistakes are acknowledged, and feelings are respected. No one has the right to dump all the blame on you, especially when it's just a way to stay in control and dodge accountability. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking free from the cycle. You are not the problem, and you're not alone. Fourth sign. When silence hurts more than words. The chill of emotional abuse. Emotional abuse doesn't always show up as yelling, accusations, or public humiliation. Sometimes it's a heavy, cutting silence that lingers endlessly. Emotional neglect is one of the quietest and most devastating forms of abuse. Have you ever felt completely invisible to someone who's supposed to care about you? Like no matter how hard you try to connect, they act as if you're not even there? That's the silent treatment, and it stings more than most people realize. This isn't just a fleeting sulk. It's punishment. They refuse to talk, avoid eye contact, ignore your attempts to reach out, and sometimes shut you out entirely. The worst part? Often you don't even know what you did to deserve it. This tactic is all about control. It's designed to make you feel desperate for their approval and attention. Over time, you start tweaking your behavior to avoid triggering that icy response. You try harder to please, tiptoe around conflict, and, without realizing it, dim your own light just to escape the punishment of silence. Neglect can also look like emotional absence. They're physically there but tune you out, show no interest, and dismiss your feelings. Whether it's a partner, friend, or parent, you pour your heart out, only to hit a wall of coldness. This chips away at your sense of worth. You start to feel like you don't deserve attention, care, or love. That's cruel, because every human being needs to be seen, heard, and valued. If this sounds familiar, hear this. You're not asking for too much. The foundation of any healthy relationship is respect, communication, and emotional care. Silence, as a weapon, is abuse, and no one deserves to live in that void. Fifth sign. This isn't love. It's control masquerading as care. In a healthy relationship, there's room for both me and us. Your individuality is respected, your choices are heard, and your feelings matter. But when that balance vanishes and you start feeling like an extension of someone else, not a whole person anymore, something's seriously wrong. This is the fifth sign of emotional abuse. Codependency disguised as affection. At first, it might look like care. They want to know everything about you, stay close, and weigh in on every decision. But over time, that closeness turns suffocating. Your voice fades, your desires take a back seat, and your choices are constantly shot down. This can come from a romantic partner, a friend, or even a family member. They make decisions for you without asking, claiming it's for your own good. They share your private matters with others as if they own your story, and they cross your boundaries without a second thought. Limits don't exist, or rather, only their limits matter. Picture this: you share a dream, maybe starting a new hobby, visiting a loved one, or just taking some time alone, and they respond with, "No, that's not the best idea. Stay with me. Let's do something else." It sounds harmless, even sweet, but deep down, it's a move to control and erase your independence. They don't see you as a separate person with your own needs and desires. To them, you're an emotional appendage, expected to be available 24/7, think like them, feel like them, and back their choices without question. If you're caught in a blur of love versus suffocation, care versus intrusion, attention versus dominance, it's time to take a closer look. Healthy relationships don't diminish you. They lift you up. They don't cage you. They set you free. You have every right to be yourself. Whole. Complete. No permission required. You're not alone. It's time to break the silence on emotional abuse. Spotting emotional abuse can be tougher than it sounds. It doesn't leave visible scars or demand attention with loud outbursts. It creeps in through heavy silences, veiled jabs, dismissive glances, and small actions that over time carve deep wounds into your self-esteem, your freedom, and your peace. But now that you know the 5 signs, humiliation disguised as humor, control masked as care, blame constantly shifted onto you, emotional neglect, and love confused with possession, you might be seeing things more clearly. That vague unease you felt, it's starting to make sense, and that realization alone is a huge step forward. If these patterns feel familiar, take a deep breath. You're not overreacting, you're not too sensitive, and most importantly, you're not alone. Talking about emotional abuse is vital. Reach out to someone you trust, a friend, a teacher, a therapist. You don't have to carry this quietly. You deserve to be heard, supported, and respected. If you've been through this, know that you can rebuild your confidence, set new boundaries, and nurture healthy relationships. The pain is part of your story, but it doesn't have to define your future. Seek support. Therapy isn't weakness, it's strength. Opening up, sharing your experiences, and understanding your emotions are all steps toward healing. The more we talk about emotional abuse, the less power it has to lurk in the shadows. Never forget, you are enough. You have a voice, and you have every right to a life where your feelings are valued, your choices are heard, and your freedom is cherished. If this resonated with you, if something here hit home, share it with someone else who might need to hear it. Drop a comment, let me know what you think, and tell me what you'd like to see in future videos. And don't forget, give this a like and subscribe to the channel for more content to help you navigate your emotions, strengthen your relationships, and above all, understand yourself better.